Boards and their system executives need, when they're periodically looking at their own strategic plans, they need, and their campus missions that help execute those plans, they need to get some good assessment of what the public purposes are. Have they changed for that particular state? And it may have. They may find that the nature of their state has changed. They may have a food industry state with a much larger migrant population than they had before. Their mission may be to adjust to a completely new economic landscape, not to mention, the landscape of the students who will be coming into their front door. People who are so scared to go to college they may throw up in the parking lot first, as one college president described to me. How student-friendly. So the public purposes have to take into account periodically a fresh and accurate assessment. What are those public purposes? Let's not just think we know them. Let's ask the governor, who's been traveling all over the state finding out. Let's ask legislative leaders. Let's make sure they're at the table. Those presidents of our institutions and many of their deans and faculty know they're in the trenches. So again, it's roundtables, and it's not task forces that have to last forever, but it can be very focused charrettes to find out, are we on track? Are we up to date? And if so, then how does our strategic plan need to be rewritten or tweaked? And how does your campus institutional plan need to be rewritten or tweaked to suit your purposes? And how does that then support the achievement of public purposes such as student success? It is a national goal for higher completion rates. To be a country in which 60% or more of our population in any given state have a college degree or a significant, 2-year degree, associate degree, or significant credential, a working families, livable wage kind of opportunity. Those are important public purposes. They're not just utilitarian. Any student who goes to college will get, practically by osmosis, exposure to the arts, exposure to some general education literature, and they will get some benefit. Maybe not as much as every faculty member would like them to have, but they get opportunity. And then, we all know this, so do their children. And many of those students in our classes already have children, and they are inspired. They become families, not just geared to getting degrees, pieces of paper to hang on a wall. They become families geared toward curiosity and learning, to really asking, about why the night sky without a lot of city lights on looks the way it does. Children have that curiosity, and it is the opportunity leading toward college education that will make astronomers out of some of them, or oceanographers, you name it. People who change the world. And even if they don't change the world, our goal, our public purpose, is to make it affordable for these colleges and universities not to offer so many choices that we're just a boutique. We use our funds effectively toward public purposes. Let others do some boutique specialization, but we need to advance the educational achievement, the curiosity, the learning capability of our entire state. And to do that, we can't always have door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3, door number 4. Campuses need to focus on their missions and connect them to the state's purposes and their student success. And I think most of them are trying to do that. And board members usually take a little while to get that. I hope nobody has very many boards where their terms are just 2 years. This is tough. These are tough things to learn. In fact, most board members sit pretty quietly their first year, and they shouldn't mind. They shouldn't be embarrassed to do that. On the other hand, they shouldn't sit on their hands. They should speak right up when there's no such thing as a dumb question for a board member. Because in my ideal world, they'll be treated completely respectfully by the chief executive, by the system head, when they ask that question. But it should be about those larger purposes, not about, the configuration of the parking lots of the nearest campus.